What's up guys, welcome to a leftstickrightstick official masterclass recording. This video is phase 2 of sculpting a male bust, detailing techniques with Kareem. A quick reminder, the moves are the recommended controller of choice for this
Now
masterclass.
we begin the second phase of our head masterclass, where we add more detail to all the face anatomy and the upper body. Now to add some more detail to the cheeks section. In this area here, I will add some cheek muscle. So the shape I need to use again is the sphere. I tend to use the sphere a lot in the early point of making head. Squash the sphere using the form again into this sort of shape. And then make it the right size of the top part of the cheekbone and soft blend it using our soft blend and go around the edge of the face where the ear and the indentation of the skull are and place the first edit of the cheek. And then using the exact same edit, I just put another one beside it just to blend it a little bit nicer towards the nose. Now, using the sphere, I will flatten it to get as flat as I can shape with the sphere and turn round off the cheek, climbing on the nose like that. There is a muscle that goes on the side of the nose under the eye that is around here. Then I'm just moving the nose a bit, always sort of adjust and modify as you go. It's not because you put something once that you can't adjust it again. The whole process of sculpture is moving and removing your edits till you're happy, or at least this phase of it. So now the top part of the cheek muscle I've bulked up, and I can then get the cylinder shape and flatten it a little. And now, to emphasize the cheekbone, I will do a cut under that soft addition that we did to the cheek. It's nice to see the cuts in full sharpness first and then soft blend to help you make that sculptural decision. And I'm just moving my hand till I get the right shape. I place a cut. No, it's a little bit too deep. Undo. Try again. And move my hand. Yes, that's a little bit better. Use the other end of the cylinder to do the return of the cheekbone again. So I used one end of the edge of the cylinder base and the other end to do that sort of S shape. The base with soft blend on acts as a very gentle push tool that I use to just squash the cheek a little. And then I'm still moving this little muscle around. It's really just supposed to take that curve of the cheek and have a nice rounded effect from one side to the other. Now we're going to add some detail to the jaw section. And what I need here is the sphere shape again. And I will use the form to stretch it into this very elongated ellipse. And I'll basically want to emphasize the jaw shapes just on the very edge of the face by placing one of those long ellipses on this end of the jaw and the other one on the lower end. And then I can go back to my move tool by pressing circle button, and I will move it to the exact edge of the jaw. And this other one, I want to just move it a little bit further, like that. And now I've got like my jaw edge emphasized. I'll give some detail to the nose. Go to the sphere shape and subtract. And now using the subtract, I want to sort of tighten the top part of the nose, push it a little bit to taper, get that taper shape of the nose, smaller at the top and widening towards the bottom. With soft blend, I've tapered the nose. Then go back, reselect the sphere shape to get it back to uniform sphere. And with some soft blend, I will do the two nostrils and the center nose bowl shape. I can just place them roughly where they're supposed to be, and again, I will move them around using the move tool. But just two for the side and one in the center, like that. And then I'll do another long, elongated ellipsoid for bulking up the middle section of the nose, again using the soft blend tool. And you can see we've already changed our nose shape from a square or a cube form to something more organic. Now, using the move tool, I will just move around my different edits to try to get them in the right place. You can see me adjusting it, and the nose shape is getting more convincing. Again, the main objective in this phase is to block the nose form. I don't have to get it perfect, but I'm trying to get it take form and prepare me for my next stage of refinements that is to come. Just adjusting the edits here using the move tool. Now I will pick the cylinder shape to do my cuts, just to make a very big cut at the bottom of the nose to make it a bit flatter at the bottom. Move it around till I'm happy. There you go. And now, using the sphere shape, I'm going to cut two holes at the bottom of the nose with some soft blend on as well to get the nostrils. And just do one cut and a smaller cut in the front to make it a little bit longer. And that's our next phase of detail on the nose. I'm using the stretch tool here to just push the nose a little bit inwards, just like that. Now to work on the mouth and lips area to add more definition. I'll pick the cylinder shape again and switch to the subtract side and see if I can flatten the top of the mouth a bit more to get a better shape. Not every time I have an idea to do a refinement, I have to commit to it. Like, for example, now I keep putting the cylinder at the top and I didn't find a shape that felt right. In fact, the shape that we really need to do now is to extend the mouth from the sides a bit more, using the back of the cylinder to extend the mouth shape to the center point of the eyes, as we said earlier. Now that cut with a bit of soft blend and it feels right. The mouth is the right sort of proportion that ends at the middle of the eyes. again to see if I can try to get a curve at the side of the lips. I'm using the back of the cylinder with a bit of soft blend again. But it feels at the moment too fussy and unnecessary to put that now. Actually, what we need to do now is to get the philtrum, which is the recessed groove at the top of the lips under the nose. Using the sphere, I will stretch it with form again and add some soft blend. Move around the camera and move my hands in and out till I get the right shape. It doesn't have to be the right depth at the first time, I can change that later, but this is more or less like it. And then for the sulcus, I will, which is the groove under the mouth, I will use the same sphere and with a bit of soft blend again create that groove. Now the mouth is starting to shape up more. The next thing I want to do is to create the definition at the bottom of the lips. Using the cylinder again, I will stretch the shape and use the back side of the curve, the base of the cylinder, to get the definition of the bottom of the lips. Again, using a tiny bit of soft blend. That's more like it. Once you have a cut you like, move on to the next step. Now to add some bulk to the lips, I will use the very thin oval shape again. And start with that center part of the lips. It's almost like a V shape that we start with around here. It's important to look at the lips from the side and the front all the time because the decisions have to work in all axes. And using the same ellipse, I will add another edit beside the first one just to accentuate that V shape, always looking from all directions. And then I will stretch the sphere even longer for the sides of the lips and place them around here. Always following the contour of the face. And now we got the top section of the lips. I will just add one more between the center part and the side part to connect them a little bit better. And again, using the same shape, the same sort of stretched egg shape, I will add small additions at the bottom of the lips to get a bit of rounded form to them. Now using the back of the cylinder, I will adjust the top part to get the center. See, this is what I mean by the diagonal line. To get the top part of the lip, I'm exploring which part of the cylinder will give me the cut that I need. So I first try this side and look at it from different angles. Place the edit, actually not right. Then I'll actually make a simpler choice of just using the flat side of the cylinder and push it like that. Every little turn of your hands creates a slightly different result. That is something that you have to keep trying with time till your eye and hands are more sympathetic to one another. I will now clean up the philtrum area again, because due to this cut, I needed to adjust the philtrum again using the same stretched sphere with some soft blend. And then to accentuate the borders of the philtrum, I'll use a very thin stretched sphere and place it like that with some soft blend to accentuate the philtrum. But to make the hole a little bit less deep, I will put an edit inside there to make it less deep. And now to work on adding some detail to the ear. The first bit I'd like to do is that small bit that hangs at the bottom of the ear. You know the name of it. Using a flat, soft blended sphere, I create that shape. And then using the same sphere, I will just extend the groove behind it a bit more like that. It's very important to just know the shapes that you need to do rather than know the medical anatomic names for everything. Then I stretch the sphere one more time to create the section inside the ear that curves in a way that reflects the exterior of the ear. Using the back of the sphere, I sort of protrude it through like that. Again, switch off the soft blend to see better and then turn it on to blend better, if you see what I mean. That's exactly the curve I want to kind of repeat the curve of the ear again. And now using a small soft blended sphere, I will create the whole of the ear, just like that, like I'm making a little cave inside the ear. A few edits like that, all behind that bit that protrudes that we put first. So did about a bunch of edits like that. So now I will use the cylinder to shape or carve the shape of the ear a bit better. So I'll flatten the top with a bit of soft blend like that. Every ear shape is different, so now these are kind of artistic license choices. Some people have very rounded ears, some don't, but I'm just showing that it's nice to mix some sharp edges or some flat edges with rounded ones. Always gives a nicer quality. Now this part that we've done before, I will use the sphere to create like a Y shape inside, and that is using the soft blend, gives you that sort of bit, and now you have the ear getting more detail. And now to work on the brow area, I will use the sphere to add some detail there. So before I add some brow detail, I will do one little cut at the top of the nose using the sphere and some soft blend to get that little indentation at the top of the nose, like that. To add the brow detail, I will just use the soft blended sphere. The first edit goes around here like a V shape like that. I don't mind that it's a bit too extruded at the moment. I can push that a bit with the move tool. I'll just put a long one on the side to round off the top of the brow and another long one here. And then above them, I will just do a very big rounded one here to create the forehead lines, and the one more above it and a little bit tucked inside the head. Now to modify them, I will use the move tool and push them inwards so they don't extrude that much. keep modifying their shape so they blend nicely into each other, looking at the model from all the different angles. I find that sometimes looking at the head from the bottom makes you see the angles and the curves better. One more edit I need to do is on the cheeks here, under the cheekbone indentation that we did before. I'll use a big flat sphere and put that edit with soft blend under there to give it some more bulk and not have it very accentuated as it was before. Now to add some detail on the neck and torso section. The main shape I will use is the sphere, and the first muscle I'd like to do is the one that goes from behind the ear all the way around the neck to meet at the center of the collarbone. Now this is kind of an S-shaped muscle, so I'm going to do it in several steps. First, I'm going to stretch the sphere into a long, thin one using form, and then place it behind the ear like that, and with a little bit of soft blend as well. I keep moving my camera around to try to get it in the right angle. And scale it up as well with the uniform scale. And now I place the first one, I place another one at the bottom and another one, and as I'm placing them, I'm scaling them down a little bit until they both meet each other at the center to create that V shape at the bottom of the neck. That is the kind of shape we're looking for. Now I'm going to bulk it in the center, as that muscle is biggest in the middle of its journey, with a bit of soft blend like that to blend it more. So now this is the muscle going from behind the ear to the center. I exit my sculpture and modify the tilt of the head a little bit. And that's really why we did them in two different models. To get the tilt of the head right in a sculpture is very difficult, and it's much easier to have it in a separate part so you can tilt it after the fact and move it to get the exact right head tilt. Once you have a good position, move on to the next step. Now I go back to the neck and add the muscle that connects the neck to the shoulders. This is like the trap muscles. And I will stretch my sphere with a bit of soft blend and descend from the neck, slope towards the shoulder to create the slope arch like that. Now, you can see the pedestal is really getting in the way when I'm working on that lower section. So I'll use this feature here which hides everything else. By just pressing on the button, everything in the scene is hidden except from the sculpture that I'm working on. Now I'm going to work on the throat section, again using the sphere, stretch it, and place a bunch of edits, one at the top and one at the bottom, sloping inwards like that. Now I turn on everything again, and I can see I've added that muscle in that awkward space a bit easier. Move it a bit with the move tool to the front to arch like that. That is the kind of shape I'm looking for. Just like that. Now to do the collarbone, I will stretch the sphere into a very long, thin shape like that. And from that V shape that we did earlier, with a bit of soft blend, I'll place the first edit of the collarbone and then the second one. The second edit, I'll make it a little bit more horizontal than the first one, which climbs upwards a bit. They create that sort of shape, and then I will do almost the mirror image of that two edits on the back to describe the top part of the scapula bone on the back. These are the bits that we need. And now to connect the neck to the shoulder, a little bit of using the same stretched sphere to create that muscle and vein that goes from the throat outwards like that. We're not doing every muscle and every vein, we're just picking the important ones. Again, to flatten or to bulk up this trap muscle, I will add an extra edit here. And then turn and see the neck from the back, and to fill in that indentation or that gap, I will put that sphere with soft blend to fill in that space. We're not really doing all the anatomical information, but as you can see, just using a bunch of spheres, we have taken the neck and upper torso to a more refined result.
I hope you found this tutorial recording useful. Click that like button below if you did, and stay tuned to Left Stick Right Stick for more Dreams content.